The live stream has begun.
It started.
We're just
hanging.
Just hanging.
Just for a second.
You guys at home, take a minute or two. She's got a tweet.
Got to tweet it too.
She's got to tweet it.
Should I tag you?
Tweet already. Tweet.
I'm doing it as fast as I can.
That's Antony. That's my aunt. What? Look, motherfucker's trying to claim me. Who are you? Oh, sorry, I confused you. Hi, people. I'm gonna retweet.
Yeah, I just tweeted it. I'm still too. Well, I guess I am an angel, so if I'm bright,
you're rather angelic.
It's because I'm an angel.
Oh. Okay, we are hilarious, as you can see, as you can tell. Plus adorbs. I think that's an appropriate thing for me to tweet.
We're gonna bants.
Bants. You only came for the bants. It's hard to speak when there's like 0 people in the room. It makes me feel like no one.
Well, we can start somewhere. Should we just start?
Well, it's your show, so.
This is my show.
It's her show.
I'm the boss.
She's the boss.
Tell me about your weekend from like the minute you got there.
Okay.
To Tom Wood's thing.
So, I went to. By the way, Colorado, like Denver airport is
huge.
It's just bad. It's like it's a poorly coordinated affair. So let me think. Can I actually remember what happened?
Someone dropped you off at the wrong side.
Yeah, someone dropped me off at the airport at the wrong.
Just the wrong end. It wasn't the wrong side, at least completely. That could happen.
That can happen. There's 2 terminals, east and west.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same, but yeah, I mean, it would still be a pain in the ass to walk all the way across. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, there's some.
But I dropped you off at in the end where Southwest actually was. There was like no cars there. We would have had plenty of room to park. Right. And I dropped you off at the completely wrong end.
Oh.
Anyways, I go ahead.
Then the rest of it's a blur. The end of the story. Was that Friday night when? No, okay. So I went down to. I flew to Miami, and I stayed overnight in a terrible hostel in Little Cuba. But I love Little Cuba. It's like it's got a little bit of atmosphere, and it's the second time I've been there. I think that it's kind of like it's got its own like Miami is exactly the kind of city that I thought I wouldn't like. I thought it'd be like a tacky place. I've been once before, but not for very long, just a couple of days. I end up in I like Florida in general. I just thought it'd be really tacky, and people are like, "Oh, you might as well go to Mexico," but that's totally untrue. All the Mexicans are in like Los Angeles and Houston, right? Everyone that goes to Miami is like from Venezuela, Colombia, Chile. Sorry, I'm doing that fucking Acacia Cortez thing where she's like blah 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 Puerto Rico. Like she goes from her like
exchange.
Yeah. But anyway, so actually it's like everyone comes from South America to Miami, Cuba, obviously Cuba. You were correct to point that out. So anyway, it's so much so that someone there told me she was visiting from LA, not this time, the time before, and she said she much prefers to be in Miami than LA because she feels more at home because everyone's South American, the Hispanic people are South American rather than Mexican. So I know to you they all sound the same or look the same or whatever
What?
it is.
I'm
But
not that unworldly.
Not
come on.
you. I mean,
Oh.
the fucking Philistines at home tuning into this shit, being like, "Get to the point, Antony." Right.
We're just free. There is no point.
I like talking about cities. When I first went to San Jose, my mum texted me like,
Some of the AOCs from Applebee's.
right, San Jose, Costa Rica, not San Jose, California. My mum was like, "Why are you staying there for a few days?" And I was like, "Because I like cities." And she's like, "Okay, fine. Like, no need to." She thought I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
No, but I actually do like cities. It's like I was talking about this to a friend of mine at this event that you want me to talk about that I'm avoiding talking about.
You can take your time
Okay.
getting there.
Okay, I'll go the long way around. Vegas is like a place that shouldn't exist. It is the embodiment of tackiness, but I'm glad it does exist just somewhere far away from me. Like, the world would be like, if it didn't exist, it would have to be invented. The world would not have existed. Like, sorry, it's like that level of tackiness has to be somewhere. The big gold buildings. Oh, why go to Europe? We've got our own Eiffel Tower. Like the like we've got everything here in Vegas. Like, but no one should live there. I mean, do you not think like when people are like, I live in Vegas, you're like, it's not a place to live.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine living there, especially if you only go for trips.
I've got a friend. Oh, I've got a few friends there. One works in the entertainment industry, so I can understand that. But that's just basically like being on all the time. So I'm not. I expected at best Miami would be kind of like that, a place that I'm glad exists, but just far away from me. But I wouldn't mind spending more time on there. So I was originally going to go up with get a lift with Martha Bueno, and Lynn Ulbricht, the great Lynn Ulbricht. But
Was that the secret guest?
it wasn't Michael Malice's secret guest, but
Oh.
but she was Tom Wood's special guest. But you know, thinking we were meant to drive up on Friday, I extended my my stay in Colorado by a day. Moved my plane ticket onto Friday instead of Thursday.
I remember.
Yeah, I had a hard time getting away from here for some reason. And and just like so but then Martha Bueno and Lynn Ulbricht went up a day early. But don't worry, they didn't leave me in the lurch. They found someone else to give me a lift. But but so that was the original plan, and that was the after plan. So thanks a lot, Jessica. No, it's okay. I got to chill with them. Martha Ben is super fun, by the way. Have you spoken to her before?
Just through Twitter.
She's really great to hang out with. So I got up a late start, and apparently they'd all had a great big party Friday night as well. So thanks a lot.
I did. You changed it yourself. I didn't tell you to do nothing.
Right, okay. You just heavily implied it, like everything else. If there's one thing I hate to miss, it's a party. Remember?
No one told you to stay.
I was stranded in Costa Rica and I almost missed your party.
That's true, but you didn't make it right in time.
I did.
You made it perfect.
I was like, I'm not fucking missing that party.
Are you glad? Did you have a good time?
It's all right. It was like some crazy chicks doing coke and like
body painting.
Yeah, but it's just like it was just the pizza wasn't even vegetarian. Like
I had a veggie pizza.
Oh, you did? Well, I just ate around the pepperoni.
You should have made the rest. I had like 2 more pizzas to make, and I didn't make them.
Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
So you had to drive from Miami to Orlando, right?
Yes, correct. And then that's when all the trouble began.
By the time you got there.
Yeah. Met Michael Bolden from the 10th Amendment Center. Met Mike Mahari again. Yeah, there was just some people hanging around. It was quite special actually because people had come from all over the country, and it was especially special for me because I've been all over the country. So I've got to meet some of these people some places, and like when I never know if I'm ever going to see anyone again. when I meet them. Like, there's a lot of special people in the community, and it's like, but then there was a whole bunch of them from everywhere. Like
All
it was just this big energy field that sucked people in. Why weren't you there?
I just didn't plan on going.
You had something better to do.
I guess. I actually did think about it a couple months ago, but then I just never followed through.
Well, I mean, you made a mistake because,
I know, because all the cool people were there.
and a lot of the uncool people as well.
Right. Well, it was all libertarian, so it's all uncool people, right? But
Compared to what? That is the economist's question. Those of your viewers who don't know me are like,
there's probably people from your posting.
they're like, there's nothing interesting about any of this.
I'm having a great time, and
Okay.
I'm interested.
Well, some people are.
We have to record your story of your weekend, so.
Do we have to?
Yeah. Unless you want to talk about something else.
Yeah, I'm up for talking about lots of things. So I'm just listening. Oh, there you go. NC veteran from Twitter. Okay,
Oh.
hola. Pump him some likes, people. I hear she's got pull. Forest Mommy's got pull.
For some reason.
I don't know. This is a mixture between a lasso and a fishing rod.
Or a thirst trap.
No, but that's not me. That's not me waving a lasso around in the air. This is me miming Forest Mommy swinging her bra around her head at her party after she takes it off publicly. Just like, woo! That's what she does.
I'm glad you let me know who you are.
Thank you. We have you've interacted from time to time, and he saw your post.
Cheers. Thanks for joining.
Do you know me? More importantly,
You're the more famous. You're actually famous
I don't
and
think
productive.
so. Well, reproductive.
I haven't written a book, so.
Yeah, but you've got like 16,000 Twitter followers, so.
True.
And the game of life, at the end of the day, you win. So.
Well,
Okay.
now you know him. This is Antony.
Yeah, NC veteran doesn't know me. I feel like that's it. I'm leaving this show. Right, that's good. New fans. Come here. She's nice to smile. Look at her patronizingly at me, like, okay,
Nice.
okay, that's enough.
Nice, honey.
That's enough. That's enough. Thank you. Keep your hands to yourself. I don't want to get me too.
Yeah, that's not me too.
Especially not on
I
camera.
was swinging from a chandelier. That's my game.
Swing from like.
But have you ever heard that song, the chandelier
Yeah,
song?
is
by
it
Mr.
Sia? Sia.
Yeah.
How do you fucking pronounce
I
that?
think Sia.
I remember. I know because
I
I
like that
originally
one.
thought it was Miley Cyrus, and then it wasn't. It was someone else, and I was like, that's why I remember it.
It'd be
'Cause
too
I'm down
hard.
with
It's
the
too hard to
kids.
sing for Miley.
All right.
Like, next time you listen to it, try singing.
Ah!
Sorry.
I thought I could do it.
Oh yes, what do you write about? You should do up on your books, Andy.
Economics, and I want to do more like psychosocial commentary, like psychology of politics and sociology. Even though that's a red word, sociology is just like applied Marxism for the main part. But if it was a real field, then. So we went to Tom Woods. I got celebrity spotted by a few people, which will come as a surprise to everyone watching the live stream because they're like, "But Antony, you're not famous."
They're famous.
So, yeah, and it was a great show. I'll tell you what, I'm famous enough that one of the speakers roasted me. So I'm now forever immortalized and commemorated in libertarian history. Because when that shit goes up, people will be like, ha ha ha, that was really funny when insert name of speaker made fun of you from the stage. There's like, yeah, I mean, so that's my claim to fame. It was good. This had some wine, met some nice people, stayed over an extra night in the hotel. Kind of needed a day to come down from drinks. But I would encourage people to get to as many libertarian events as you can. If you can afford it, sacrifice your children's college fund to come, because
Hex.
there's going to be no college in the year 20 future.
College is just, it's stupid anyway.
It's dead as a dodo.
Yeah.
So you should go, because you'll never, like, I've had people tell me it just really restored their hope. It's so good to know that we're not alone, that other people see as they do, that, and you get to feel like a part of something bigger than you are. Like, I've been traveling the country for the last year for those like these guys who've never heard of me before, and going to all sorts of libertarian events. As you can hear, I'm not from around these parts. And I've met, it's great because you get to meet so many people that just by law of averages, some of them are going to be incredible. And it's like, I've just got a great network of amazing people because I come to these events and find people like you, Forest Mommy.
Come to my parties.
Come to your parties.
My events are parties, house parties.
Yeah.
That's what someone said the other day. They're like, protesting doesn't work anymore, so what should we do? And I was like, house parties with our beds. Like,
I always loved house parties more than clubs and bars, although I like
they're fun.
Clubs and bars.
Especially now I haven't been in for fucking, I've been once in the last 2 years.
I wouldn't mind going out clubbing now.
Yeah,
What's Denver got to show for itself?
There would be the one club I would take you to. Well, if you have the card, you can get in. You have to either be tested or vaxxed. And the other one I went to a couple weeks ago with my friend Chloe.
Know someone. Yeah, Chloe, who we met.
Yeah.
At your party.
And we went out to one, but I think they were going to start requiring it too now. And that was up. It's a goth. It's like half goth bar, half 80s bar, so it's kind of fun. But
that's kind of my thing. When I was a teenager, I got really into goth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you wear eyeliner?
I did. It was a hit. I remember once coming into the city and this short ginger girl being like, "Oh, your eyeliner is perfect as usual."
Were you good at it?
Yeah, I was like, I good at applying my own.
Did you put it on your bottom lid?
Mm-hmm. On the bottom lid.
What other makeup did you wear? Other makeup too? Did you like powder your
Not
face?
a lot. I know I did the white thing, the whole foundation white thing, only a couple of times. It was for a Marilyn Manson concert. It was obligatory. Got some pictures.
Do you have the pictures though?
I do, but there were actual photographs. Remember, before technology.
Yes. And you had to go develop the shit.
I had to develop that shit. I had to develop all of this. This shit doesn't come naturally.
It takes a lot of work, doesn't it?
It takes a lot of work to be this.
I know, me too. I want to see him with eyeliner.
Well, you're just gonna have to start a GoFundMe.
I have some.
Shall we do it? Let's do it.
I don't know. I'm not good at putting it on even on myself. You'll have to do it on yourself.
Are you any good at putting lip gloss on?
Yeah.
No, I mean putting it on me.
I put it on you. Do you want? It has a color in it.
Oh, never mind. We'll get it at home.
You do have to do eyeliner now at some point.
I guess so. So yeah. So we used to go to the goth club, which was once a month, and there was two of them. One was called Bedlam, and the other one in Glasgow, Scotland.
Glasgow.
But sometimes we went to Edinburgh as well because there weren't that many events. And the other one was called Amatus, I think, or like, which means
it's a rock, isn't it? Like that?
No, not amethyst. It comes from amor.
Love.
Yeah. So we go to each of them monthly. And then I started going when I was 16 because you only need to be 18 to drink in the UK. I got a big card. And I was always like scared that people would like know that I was underage and judge me. And then you get to a certain age, like 19, 20, and you realize that no one gives a fuck but you. But these were like proper goths who'd been goths in the 80s. So there was like a lot of like an older crowd and keeping the tradition alive. And then around 2005, I think, like Nine Inch Nails brought out a new album or something like that, and there was just this swelling of youngsters that came in, and that was amazing because it made it easier to pull. And then, but it also just, it was some action and liveliness for a couple of years. I'm sure some of the older people didn't like it. But yeah, I also got to see almost all of the most famous goth bands tour on the reunion tour or whatever. But for anyone who knows about this stuff, like Sisters of Mercy, Susie and the Banshees, I saw the Cult. I don't. They're kind of slightly in there. I didn't see the Cure. The Bauhaus did a reunion tour in 2005, and they've never done one since. So, Susie and the Banshees. It was. I'm not really sure. No, I think it's like this is like 2003, so I don't think I'd had long enough to go out long yet since being out of school. So I was working on it. So yeah, goth.
I take it to the club, but I don't
You
know.
take me to the
I don't know
club.
if they'll let us. Will they let me in? So. And I'm not faking the papers. Fuck them.
Do you want to hear? I want to fake the papers. Do you want to?
Well, I mean, you're traveling around, kind of like, and that's your livelihood. Me, fuck it. If I don't fucking need it, I don't fucking need it. So if
That's
they're gonna
true.
come after my like real estate license, I'm just gonna be like, all right, fucking take it. I don't care.
Really?
I'm worried, not worried, but I have a feeling that's the next step because they already did it. So the people who license me, they look over the healthcare license too, and they made the healthcare people have to have it. So I'm like, what's to keep them to stop it from the electricians and the real estate brokers and the psychologists and all this stuff,
Yeah, even the ones who only see clients over Skype. I'll tell you guys a fucking ridiculous story because we like to get ridiculous. I have a friend who works on video sets, and she said they all had to be sent home first because the producer was exposed to someone who tested positive for COVID. But that's not the thing. The thing is, an actress almost got in who wasn't vaccinated, shock horror, against the policy of this company. And she was like, if this actress had come in, the whole design team would have had to go home for 2 weeks because she wasn't vaccinated. Not because she had COVID or was showing any symptoms of being ill. It's now just being exposed to someone who's not vaccinated. I mean, if the PCR test's so fucking effective, why couldn't they just have given the actress the PCR test and gone, all right, well, you guys are okay. So
it's more nefarious.
It's so fucking nefarious. It's like there's this the sad thing is this friend of mine, this friend of mine was like complaining about the actress being unvaccinated rather than the ridiculous policy. I think she was telling me the story to try and ferret out my opinion so she could argue with me, but I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of a good argument.
Well, and that's like so dumb to argue about at this point too anyways. So it's like you're basically saying if someone's not vaccinated, they're automatically sick and spreading crap. And it's like,
yeah, and they're not welcome.
And I thought like the vaccines were supposed to protect people. It just doesn't make any sense anymore. It's just all authoritarianism.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how you can have that level of like, this is my team. I'm on team establishment.
So dorky, like so in the worst way.
It is. When I was on the left, when I was in my late teens and early 20s, it was all like, the left were all like, fuck the government.
Now freedom, live your lives, be happy.
Yeah, do whatever you want, as long as you don't hurt anyone.
No.
Why did you do it?
I didn't do it.
That's exactly what someone who did it
Although
would say.
I did vote for Obama.
You did? You did. You were part of
the
that.
The DNC was here in Colorado in 2008, and they were like downtown. I wasn't like, it was just kind of fun being around all the people. But like, and then they were like, yeah, you vote for Obama because I hate war. At the time, after coming out of Bush and stuff, we all hated war. We thought it was just a Bush thing. Or I did. I just didn't know enough. I didn't know. I wasn't into Ron Paul and everything, but
I feel I kind of saw through Obama. He was exactly what I expected him to be. But a lot of people cut Trump a lot of slack for a lot of things.
He still suck.
So how did you get if you're not going to bore your listeners because they've heard it a zillion times, how did you get red pilled?
I was always anti-establishment on my own young, did whatever the hell I wanted for my life because, you know, that's how you should live. And then I think towards the end, like the last couple years I was on Facebook, like 20, like Trump time, I did start seeing all this stuff where it was like, they're feeding us. And they admitted it. They're like, oh yeah, we use algorithms to change the political outcomes. There's 2 documentaries about it. Like, that Cambridge Analytica thing, the actual whistleblower from that was like, oh yeah, we went around the world and we're like helping whatever political party win or lose. Like they've been doing it this whole time. And then I just noticed the news I was being fed was just like off. Like it wasn't. There was just so much negativity and like not real. And then when I would go look stuff up, I'm like, that's not really what happened. And
so this happened. When are we kind of talk? So that the thing about the
2018.
Yeah. So like the Facebook algorithms and stuff, you're like, this doesn't look good. This is like nefarious.
Yeah, you could tell like everyone, and I was even on libertarian anarchist Facebook right before I was off, and I was like, even in that crowd, like you could just tell like everything was like. And then I noticed things changing socially where like things I did in my private life were also getting taken over by like these super far leftist people and turned into something. It's just everything was just turning weird. Like, and I'm super open and accepting, and it was like too far. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that makes sense. Are you analyzing me now?
No, I was actually just trying to think of something funny and absurd to say, like
fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out. Yeah, what what took it too far? Was it the thing with the and then insert something? Like yeah, insert something. What did they have to insert in order for you to be like, right, that's too far?
It's too far.
It's too far.
I don't know. I just noticed that like I've said this before in other ones, but I've been like, I didn't know who Jordan Peterson was, and all I was fed was this guy's evil, he's terrible, he's the worst person in the world. And then I would talk to a friend of mine, and he was like, I mean, no, like he's not, like you know. And then I like figured out the whole, just cleaning the good lessons he has, and like, I disagree with him on a ton of shit, but I'm like, he's not evil. Like they literally were trying to portray him as like this crazy evil person.
That just tells people to take responsibility for
I'm like, but that makes sense though now. It does make sense why they had such a, because there was even a friend in real life who like popped up one time and was like, well, I watched this YouTube that said, Jordan Peterson's terrible. And this is a guy who's an anthropologist. Right. And supposedly smart and whatever. But I'm like, no, like, why can't you just look at how he just says take responsibility for it? Like, why is that a terrible lesson? But then it's like, of course it's a terrible lesson because you can't have communists and people are responsible for their life.
Right. Okay. So the whole point is to make you not capable of taking care of yourself, because if you are, then you don't need the government. And
you might think for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. Because if you've not got much to look, see if you're like if you're like a Swiss Army knife in whatever situation you find yourself in, there's something you can you're useful for to someone. You've got tons of skills. You're probably going to have a favorable view of the market, the free market, because you can go out and make money and make stuff happen. And if you're completely like useless, then how are you going to have a favorable view of the free market, because you can't make anything happen for yourself on a free market? So they put people through 11 to 13 years of mandatory education. They don't teach them any skills, and then they go, well, we should raise the minimum wage. How about you had them for 11 to 13 years? Why didn't you teach them one fucking thing they could have done that would get them $15 an hour? Like, is that so fucking much to ask? Oh yeah, it's the lack of minimum wage that's the problem. So it's kind of like like you said, it's like maybe that is what was so bad about Jordan Peterson, it wasn't the fact that he brought facts to feminist issues that weren't real issues because they were lying about figures, but the fact that he had the audacity to say, get competent, get good at life, so that when your uncle dies or something like that, you can help arrange the fucking funeral and take the load off everyone else that you know.
And if shit's bad, sometimes it's your fault. It's your own fault.
Oh, you
and
can't
have
say
to
that.
Fix, you have to fix shit in your own heart. That's Havoc was saying how getting a job is what red pilled him, but that's true. Like,
that's a good thing.
Because I moved out super young, and it's like you work and you make this much money, you have to pay your rent, you have to pay, and like I didn't have credit cards or any loans at the time, so I was very like
right.
I had and it did make you like, and I worked, and I kind of. There was a point where I was like, man, I'm working my ass off, and kind of felt like a little lefty, like victimized. But then I like stopped that, and I'm like, I can change my own life. And this was mid 2000s.
Well, the thing is, they're cute. They keep people in school for longer and longer.
They want to do more free school. They keep saying that.
Yeah, more free education. Just keep on divorcing them from the market. Keep them in university. Keep them in college, because then they don't have to work like Havoc did. And see how much money the government is taking out of their paycheck to pay for all this crap. What happened was, once upon a time, people were very impoverished, and if you try to tax them 10%, they'd be like, no, fuck you, you're taking food out of my kid's mouth. Like, you can't tax me 10%, because that's the difference between me actually being able to afford food or not. And then as things went on, people became more and more wealthy. The more wealthy they became, the more the government, the bigger a percentage of their income the government could tax without them going, oh no, freaking out. Okay, well, you know what? See, you can take 33% of my paycheck because I've still got a pretty nice house, and I can still afford to go out to a restaurant twice a week. And then they hide all the taxes and stuff like that. So it's probably more like upwards of 50% you're paying when you account for everything. So the government's like, well, what are we going to do with all this money? Well, we need to actually not isolate as many people as possible from the real incentives that we're creating here. So I guess, we're going to increase the number of people who work for the government. We'll create like an EPA, a Department of Education, create a department of everything. Because the more departments we can create, the more people we can put in government jobs, and then they're always going to be fans of the government, because they're not going to go, yeah, taxation is theft, that's where my paycheck comes from. And then you obviously colonize all the schools, you buy over the schools, and you tell people a version of history where before the government came in, it was just like fucking factories and kids going up chimneys and stuff like that. And if we didn't have the government to come in and provide workplace safety and ban child labor, that would still be going on now. Of course, if you know anything about economics, then you know it's the fact that the industrial process is improving, getting more technology, created the wealth that people didn't need to send their kids to work anymore. Child labor was down 95% before it was even banned. So then the parents are going to start putting themselves in school. So at that point, well, you need to colonize the school, because if you give them a real education, then they'll find out the truth. And then you've still got enough money, I guess, now that they're taxing people up to pay off all the university professors. You don't pay them directly, you just make sure the universities don't get funding. And the universities professors provide the function that the church did under monarchy. Like, the church under monarchy was like, oh yeah, the king's got the divine right to rule, right? But instead, the university professors come up with these crazy harebrained ideas like, oh, there's a social contract, and that's what legitimates government. And they come up with all these reasons why we need government, because they don't know what the market works like. Like, people don't know the market be like that, but it do. Once I was at this humanist, this is my sociology of statism theory, right? Some guy came up to me. He'd been working in the public sector his whole life, and he's an old guy, and he was like, I think Marx was right. and that capitalists will. And like my first thought was like, how old are you? Like seriously. But of course he would, because he's worked in the public sector and they only talk to each other and they build up this big theory that the people who are exploiting each other are out there and we're the good ones. But the only people getting paid in a non-voluntary manner, well, their paychecks, like they wouldn't exist if they couldn't tax people. Their jobs wouldn't exist. It's such flagrant projection. They're the people who are exploiting people. So so as the government got bigger and got hold of more of your money, they could buy off allies. And they can't let anyone get too wealthy because the because when people at the bottom of the economic ladder gain a middle class income, which they would on a free market, they'll just take their kids out of school and put them in better private schools. So we don't need the government for that. Then they'll buy healthcare over the counter instead of going through this crazy insurance system. So they don't need the government for Medicare or Medicaid. Then they won't go into the military because they're not looking for free education or opportunities for the government because they can provide for their own kids higher education and training and whatnot. And the crime will go down, so they don't need many cops. They don't need all these fucking lawyers and fucking actuaries and accountants and all these people who don't fucking produce anything. They just fill up the bureaucracy. So the state, so the poor don't need the government. The government needs the poor. So as long as there is government, there will always be an underclass in poverty. I forgot when I was talking about everyone that the state turns into their vassals, their allies. Obviously, people on welfare. The more people on welfare, the better.
We're already in your books on UBI. I was like, we basically are in it right now. And,
Yeah.
and like how I told you the other day, I was like, just on a basic level, a non-economic level of understanding, they can withhold that money from you for whatever ideological reason. And that's what's happening right now. They're forcing the hand of the private companies to do it.
Right. So, and the last essay in my book, Universal Basic Income for and Against, which you should all read, is called Universal Basic Income, Utopian Dream or Dystopian Nightmare. And it basically predicts that the government will institute an UBI and then just basically take it away from anyone that they don't like the social credit score. And now me and a friend of mine are trying to write a novel based on that idea as well. So watch this space. I do need to do quite a lot of work on it at the moment, because maybe fiction can get through to people better than facts, because we tried the facts thing. What the facts?
Facts are hard.
The thing is that's someone posted on Facebook. What did they post? What scares you the most? And I said, people were saying all sorts of dumb shit as they do. And I was like, the fact that when you expose people to new information, they don't change their minds. Because the whole concept of the liberal society and democracy was that, well, people can reason, right? That's what came out of the Enlightenment. People can reason, therefore they should be entitled to rule themselves and have a say in government and how the society is run. But the thing is, it turns out that people can't reason.
Or they don't want to.
Or they don't want to.
It's too hard to.
But the thing is, if I put out a position and someone says, that's nonsense, here, and presents an argument or some evidence that I've not seen before, like that, I can't unhear that. Like that will go on in my head for days until I do more research and find out who's right and who's wrong. Like sometimes when people bring me information I've never heard before, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I mean, so the thing is, I don't know. Like, I don't know what makes me weirdly wired up to, like, I just don't like if I say something and someone proves it wrong, I just won't ever say it again to anyone else because it would be humiliating to me to say a position that is false. So you go into the world thinking everyone else is going to be like that. but then you find out that you're banging your head against a brick wall. Give us your white pills.
My friend Hex on here, he now has to test just to go to work. He has to take a test
Wow.
to go to work. Like, why are they making it harder on people who want to work and easier on people who don't want to work?
Because they want to make everyone poor. They want to make everyone poor. Mm-hmm. That's my view. People were getting too wealthy. Yeah, so you're saying because they want to institute a UBI.
Well, I mean, even if it's not official UBI, but it's already dystopia. It is already, to me, we're already living through the dystopia where people are having to test for a cold that they don't even feel sick. Like, with
the tests that aren't even
reliable. We don't know. They're like 70% false positive. Yeah, like we're already. I don't know. I feel like it's there. Maybe because it's affected so many of my friends and family already that like. I don't know. I was thinking yesterday though. So remember I told you my sister was maybe on the so she has her job still, and there was a news story yesterday where someone in the district like supposedly taped a mask to the kid's face. And I'm like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I kind of like, someone else called it righteous propaganda. I'm like, yeah, maybe we need our own righteous propaganda where we're like, you're abusing these kids and just make it like obvious.
Yeah,
but it would just have to do fake news. But...
It's hard to do it when the thing is. I try and be courteous when I.
He says the companies are just leaders with no backbones, and that's for sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've certainly seen a lot of spineless people. But the thing is, they make it like you get blackballed if you don't get along with that, but you'll get a nice. They could fucking hire me as chairman of the Fed. Like, okay, right, let's take your UBI idea.
So good at it.
Yeah. My first act as chairman of the Fed is to abolish the Fed. Thank you all. You've been great. You've done such a good job all these years destroying the economy. But like, okay, take someone like me, I'm not broke, but I get pretty close sometimes because I travel too much. But
the wanderer.
Supposing I'm getting $1,000 a year from the government, a G.
A year or a month?
A month, right? And okay, so the first thing is people at the bottom of the economic pile, they're going to shut the fuck up pretty quick because they don't want to lose their UBI. But even someone like me, like, am I going to be live streaming as readily with freaks like you, known subversives like Forest Mommy?
Would you be as productive?
If they're going to take away, I'd probably be more productive. I'd probably be one of these people who's like, oh, that's good, I can relax now. But that's just me. So in other words, go find my Patreon and donate $1,000 a month. You get all the...
You just have to marry rich. That was how people did it before.
I know. I think it's easier for a woman to marry rich than from... But
now women are making more money. I have 2 girlfriends who were paying alimony.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and one
do you want to be my patron?
Yeah, I'll be your patron. I'll be your sugar mommy. My one friend who we're not friends
sugar
anymore
mommy.
Because she works for the government. She's a judge now too. On top of it, But she's a black girl, and she had a white husband, and they were divorced, and she was paying. So it was a black girl playing her white husband. $3,000 a month in alimony.
That's so a lot.
I know, but I'm like, this is equality. We have reached equality.
Just think, and now it's so cringe because it's a black woman, but just this is then happening to like millions of guys can't even fucking see their kids and still have to pay out the ass.
Oh, I know.
It's so sad.
Alimony and child support.
Well, I mean, child support's reasonable.
So what you need to do is you need to date a woman who's getting alimony, and so then you're getting that man's money.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that is the dream. That is the dream. Right, so you're gonna have to entertain them for a while because I've drunk a lot of tea. Plus, I've done most of the time. Sorry.
Yeah, you did talk a lot.
I
You're
did
like
talk
the
a lot.
Smart one. Right. No,
Hey, you've got the looks, I've got the brains. Let's make lots of money.
All right, that's our new platform. Yes, Havoc. I believe. I mean, that would be that's how what we're already seeing is money was flying around and the price of everything is going up. So, and the value of dollars going down. I don't know. That seems so simple to us. I'm not super educated either, but when you work and pay bills, it's pretty easy to like figure out. You work so much, you make so much money, and then so losing a third of the workforce. I know. I don't know. For the NC veteran, like I don't know what's going on other than that they're just printing all the money. I don't understand it at all. I don't know. Like, is money even worth anything anymore? Should we pull our money out of the banks completely? Like, obviously have some silver and whatnot, but I think they could probably hear the toilet.
They could probably hear it. What gets you up in the morning?
Me?
Yeah.
My friends.
Oh. Your friends get you up in the morning because you can't drag
Just a
yourself
little
out
help
of
from my
bed without a
friends.
little help.
I don't know. Well, just my former life used to get me up all the time. I'd go to yoga every morning. And nowadays, I don't know anymore. It's kind of a hard question.
I know.
Myself.
Snap! You chose the wrong state to want to do yoga every morning, and
Well, there's still supposedly some there. I like the hot yoga.
mm,
And the one I went to, I got for free for 5 years.
Mm.
Talk about working the economic system. I got it for
how
free.
did you do that?
I would just wash these towels that they had. And like,
That's good.
I got unlimited too. Unlimited.
You're providing a good service.
And then they changed it actually going into 2020 before the whole, they were like the corporate, because it was Corp Power, which is corporate, but it's franchise owned. And so the corporations were buying up all the franchises back. So then we weren't allowed to put cold towels on people's face anymore because it's not with the corporate thing. And then they ended up not buying it anyways because of COVID and all. It was a mess. And I haven't been there since March 2020. Not sad.
That
And
is sad.
my teacher, I would hire to come to my house, and I could have still went all last year, but he had to wear a mask. And I'm like, I'm not fucking wearing a mask. The whole thing is about breathing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I was gonna wear it in like a humidified, 100-degree room. So whatever.
Oh no, that sounds absolutely abominable. Yeah, I mean, I did power yoga in Jacksonville, Florida during the pandemic, about 5 days a week.
Nice.
Something similar in Houston.
I'd like to see your downward dog sometime.
I'm not the only one getting me too'd after this show. No, I'm not very flexible. Well, my body's not very flexible, but my mind's very flexible. How about that?
Your mind is very flexible.
Mhm.
Someone made a good point that there's so much more of us armed people than the government.
Yeah, well, I mean, look what happened in Australia, and guess what? What have they been telling us for years? Well, Australia let the government take their guns, and their guns crime's gone down. Well, now you fucking know. What happens if they take your guns? Fuck around and find out.
That will be like that's going to be the next step. So first they're going to like make a bunch of people poor and dependent right now by making them quit and not be able to do their job if they don't want the vaccine. And then the next step, they're going to come to our houses to try to give us the vaccine. And that's my end game there. Like, that'll be my end game. But then it'll be guns too. It'll be vaccine and guns probably at the same time. They'll come to your house to give you the vaccine, but they're going to come take your guns too. And be like, well, you can have guns unless you take your vaccine.
Whoa, shit.
They might do
That's an
that.
idea.
They might do
We
that.
figured it all out. Here's the thing, between me and the Forest Mommy, we know exactly what's going on. And now you know what's going on too because we've informed you. The problem is, what the fuck do we do about it?
I don't know. We have house parties and do drugs.
It's a shame you're blonde.
I know. I'm blonde. I don't have to. My
She
responsibility
doesn't have any
is
original ideas.
I don't have to be responsible.
That's not a very libertarian outlook.
What? To have house parties and do drugs? I mean,
To
what
not
else?
be very responsible.
Oh, well, I'm responsible for me. I can't be responsible for saving the world. Or you think you're? Are
You should be.
You already wrote a book and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I am saving the
I've
world.
done my bit. It's your
I'm
turn.
saving the world by being Forest Mommy on Twitter.
She does do pretty good on Twitter. I've derived a lot of laughs from interacting with you in Twitter.
Oh, really? See, I bring joy to the world.
There's mostly the people commenting on your posts, but
No, they're so. I like every single one, even if they're mean or if they're like totally thirsty or totally like creepy. I like.
yeah,
them
you
all.
got a new nickname.
I did.
Yeah,
What?
you remember?
What?
You posted your new nickname on your avatar.
What was it?
Dusty old Skeletor.
Oh yeah,
Dusty
old Skeletor
right
over here.
Yeah, why don't you fucking eat some cake or something?
I'm only skinny there. I'm not skinny anywhere else, as you know.
I don't know. I can't. Sorry, I thought you were heavily implying something there when you said, "As you know." How would I know?
I don't know.
Um,
You've seen me walk.
I've seen you. Yeah, I do watch you walk. That's certainly true, especially away from me. So Dusty old Skeletor right here.
Why did that guy say that even? It was so. Oh, he was being.
He
You
said
said
I-
you were simping.
He said I was simping for you.
And like this is literally after we've hung out.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, maybe if you stop simping for dusty old Skeletor here, then you'd be getting it in real life or something like that.
Yeah. It would be good if I was getting it in real life. So the other thing, yeah, the other troll. I posted a picture of you and I together, and he was like, "She helped." I like the trolls because see if you're funnier than them, you can sometimes win them over. They're just trying to piss you off. I was like, "Yeah, I don't mess around with pugs. Like I don't hang out with pugs."
The fugs.
Yeah, you like that, pugs. And then she was like, "She hot though, too hot for you." And I was like,
What's your at?
"My Antony Sammeroff.
It's just
It's my name.
2 M's, 2 F.
2 M's, 2 F's, and no H in Antony." Yeah, and that was just a funny because he was like, "She's too hot for you," and I was like, "Yeah, she's probably just using me for my charm, charisma, and sex appeal." Yeah, that's all it is. You're right.
I'm
So
using you.
whatever anyone else says, just agree. Whenever anyone tries to troll you, just agree with them. So when I was like, had my long hair, someone posted like Russell Brand really let himself go. So I replied, "It was my marriage to Katy Perry that took it out of me."
Will
See?
make your hair like that.
Yeah, just stress me the fuck out. So whatever they say, just agree with them, and then eventually I won the troll over by being funnier than him. He couldn't. He was destroyed.
Yeah, well, if you don't let him win that, like, if you're not upset.
Just agree and like I used to say that to my housemate who was getting like, he's like. In his job, like people would be like, "Oh, fuck's sake, George," like and stuff like that. And I'd just be like, just be like, "Yeah, I know, I'm just an idiot." Like if they're like if someone calls you an idiot, be like, I don't know, I'm fucking retarded." just agree with them and dial it up one. It works all the time.
Some advice that I was online early too, like early mid-thousands, people call you ugly. And I'm like, no, I know what I look like. And
Objectively.
When people are like mean online, they're the tens judging the fours. Showing my like profile.
They would look at how adorbs this face is. So
you're great. You're the bestest friend ever.
I know, such a great friend. I'm so glad to be your friend. I know these people are like, they're just frustrated because they can't get you or anyone else into bed.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty fucking easy, so you have to be pretty like terrible.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, we can call it. Are you good? It's almost an hour.
Yeah.
Good, we'll call it.
Okay, we'll call it. We'll talk about all the nasty, raunchy stuff next time.
Yeah,
so
we'll put it on your podcast.
If you want to hear about all the really interesting stuff,
the mile high stuff,
because Colorado's a mile high or something. I'm guessing Denver. I'm guessing.
So we're even higher than a mile high.
We're even higher than a mile. Okay. They certainly think we're high at home. So anyway, if you want to hear all the fun stuff, subscribe to Forest Mommy's YouTube channel. and that way you won't miss it. Oh,
yours.
I saw that on your YouTube channel. You've got like some playlists now.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I set that up. Someone taught me how to do that.
Yeah, she's got playlists, so you can watch all of her shit. Just click on that
And I'm
channel.
gonna make more
And she's gonna make more.
live streams too.
Yeah,
It won't be all in person. I'm so lucky because you're here with me
Yeah.
in person. But
with more interesting and high profile guests.
whatever. You're so famous. Why is it so open?
Hitting on females on the internet is weird to me. It's only weird if you're weird at it.
Oh, the simping.
If you crush.
I love it. I love being hit on.
So you heard
It's like a way of communicating. Well, especially when you're good with flirting and banter, then it's just communication. You know?
Yeah.
But there are some people who are weird online, but then like you just make fun of them. So
Yeah, I got inbox with some nice breasts this week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this weekend while I was away.
Nice.
Yeah,
They look pretty good.
not bad. Not as beautiful as yours. So, flirting on the internet, leave it to the professionals. That's my advice.
Or you can flirt with Forest Mommy and she'll help hone your skills.
She'll be your dating coach.
Yeah, you can.
We should have a whole.
I wanted to do that, a
should
live
have
stream with like people asking relationship questions.
We should do that.
You want to do that?
I'd love to do that.
All right.
I've got a playlist. If you want to know the content I'm most proud of, you can go on YouTube and type Antony Sammeroff how to make small talk, and there's a 17 video long playlist. They're only about 10 minutes each on improving your social skills. So that's
And
my
some
plug.
of them you can see his long hair.
Yeah, when I had long hair. Shall we close it?
You have to hit it twice. Bye everyone. Thank you.
Bye everyone.